Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 5 of our Transport Fever 2 Let's Play. So let's go ahead and get into it. So just to kind of recap what we did in the last episode. We expanded our passenger connection up here to Norton-on-Derwent. We set up various bus lines going between some of these cities. So coming up here to Askern to Yateley, from Yateley down to Norton. We set up one coming from Skelton over to Midhurst, and then we established this construction materials processing up here at Reading, which is working pretty well. You know, we got little shiploads of construction materials coming back, and we have a pretty healthy supply up here for, what is this, Reading. So let's get a couple more vehicles on there just to kind of clear this off a little bit. We don't want that to get too overloaded and us to run out of those construction materials we've worked so hard to set up. However, I don't know if you noticed, but we started off by following this fuel train up here going up to Ferry Hill from the Tenterden refinery. And the reason is, look at what's going on this platform. We just have a tremendous amount of fuel piling up here. So with that being said, I think we definitely need to increase the capacity here, and we've got a Borsig on there, so I'd be curious to see, you know, if we added a bunch of these on. I imagine the Borsig would probably just not be able to handle it. I don't think we necessarily need to do a BR-53, because that's more of our speed train right now, but I think we'll go with one of these BR-89s, and we'll see how that handles that line. So let's get that on there. It doesn't go quite as fast as the Borsig, but I think it can handle the added capacity. And there we go. So that should help out. It's still well under our station limit. So I think that that'll be good. Now, up here at Ferry Hill. So Ferry Hill demands two things. Fuel, which we're delivering, and food, which we're not. So I think we should start to incorporate a little food here. And we have a little processing plant here, and we have this farm across this waterway. So I think we can get that set up. So let's come in here. Let's look at our terrain, because we're going to use trucks to make this delivery. So let's just kind of work our way over this little ridge here. And then we'll just kind of work our way around this hill. Yep. And then why don't we come kind of up here, work our way down a little bit. And now we're kind of, we'll kind of straighten out and work our way over to this facility. We can just kind of follow these contours a little bit. Kind of bend it around. It won't be the most direct route, but I think it'll work. And it'll be better than the route that we have in there currently. So let's get rid of that. And then let's just bring this around and probably connect it in there. Just like that. So that's a much more direct route than this one that they had going on. So I'm actually going to come in here, and we'll just delete this road out, because we don't need that one anymore. Okay. So now we've got that established. We're going to need a truck stop here. And I think this is a little bit too far to do the canal like we did, if you remember, over here at Reading. We kind of dug in a little bit. But I think that this over here is a little bit too far to do that. So we're going to need a truck route. We're going to need a station with 2 stops. One is going to be for picking up the construction material, the grain, from the actual dock, and then the other is going to be to take it over to Ferry Hill. So let's just get these roads set up here. It's nice and flat. I think we're going to need to fix this one. So let's bring this out straight, and we'll get it level. And then we'll go ahead and curve that down in there. And I just did that so that when I make this connection, it's nice and flat. We can kind of smooth that out a little bit. Smooth out the back there. Nice. Okay. So that's established. So now we're going to need a little harbor in here. So let's get one. I'll just put that in right about there. Get a nice road in there. I'll bring it out a little bit, keep it flat. And then we'll curve it off and start to climb up this hill. It's pretty steep. So why don't we come into our terrain here so that we can kind of work our way around without having to necessarily go all the way up and over. And then we'll just branch it right in there. Smooth that out a little bit. And then why don't we also just give that a little smooth. Okay. And now we can come over here to this farm, and now I think we can get in catchment of this farm if we add a road in. So let's see, if I bring that down to right about there, and I were to spin this around, yeah, that's still not in catchment. So we're gonna have to do a little cutout like we did in the up at Reading at that construction materials plant. So let's go ahead and do that. And then let's see. Yeah, so that'll work. That just cost us a boatload of money, but we have no debt anymore. Well, now we do. So I'll just buy a little bit. Okay, so that dock is going to be outside of navigable waters. So I'm going to need to bring this back just a little bit further. Let's kind of carve that out there. And then if I connect this up... So let's see, I'll put that in right there. And now let's get rid of this road, because I want to redo it. So let's add that in like that. Then let's go ahead and connect that up. So now this is in catchment of that facility, which is good. Go ahead and just kind of smooth that out a little bit. Then we can fill that back in. Borrow a little bit more money so I can get this to look nice. We'll kind of smooth that out, and then I'll probably back off that tree line a little bit. Can add some rocks back in there, and then maybe some mixed trees. Let's get that intensity up a little bit, just to kind of make it look like it's more incorporated into the land. Okay, so that's in catchment there. And now if we come down here, we need to set up the truck stop that's going to actually deliver the grain up to that facility. So let's just get this established. Put in a little building so that it can maintain its capacity there. And then let's get this connected up. Just like that. And then we should be able to come in here, kind of flatten this out a little bit. Let's bring that back a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now we have all the infrastructure set up, so let's get the lines established. So our first line is going to be the ship bringing the grain over. And let's see, I want them to wait for full load forever before they head over here. And this will be our Ferry Hill grain shipping route. And then similarly, we're going to have a Ferry Hill grain truck route. Okay, so that establishes the grain getting delivered over here. And now we're going to have to come back into Ferry Hill and establish our drop-off. And luckily the grain is going to get dropped off right here. So I could have them drop like right about there and then circle back around. Something tells me I'm going to need a waypoint to get them to do that. But let's go ahead and get that set up. So they'll come into here, yeah. And then I want them to waypoint out. And let's make that like a light orange color for the, maybe a dark orange for the food. And I want these trucks to wait for a full load forever before they come up to here. And this is going to be our Ferry Hill food delivery. Okay. So now let's get some trucks on there. We're going to need to borrow quite a bit of money to get that to happen. So let's get some trucks, and for the grain, we can use these flatbeds. So let's get maybe 8 of those queued up onto the grain route. And then let's get some of these covered wagons. Maybe 4 of them for now. We're definitely going to need more. But we'll get some of the covered wagons for the food delivery. And then if we get a ship in here, we can add that in like right there. We should be able to get one of these ships on there. So why don't we go with, we're just going to use a small ship for now. So maybe a riggy to deliver this grain. Let's get that on there. And then let's come in here. Let's get a road in. Let's just connect that in there. No real reason. That's not super necessary. But I think that that'll work great. Let's just check the riggy. So yeah, the riggy is the faster of the 2 small ships. So I think that that'll be good. Now, what we honestly could do, because this is a pretty big waterway, we could get a bigger ship onto here. So why don't we do that? So if I come in here and I put a large landing, do I want it in like that? I mean, I clicked it. That's not necessarily the way that I wanted it, unfortunately. So let's put that in there. And then let's get one of these large ships, large landings. And let's just come in there and smooth that out. And if I bring this back, just kind of fill in behind here a little bit. And then we just kind of smooth that out. So now we have a large landing in there. And we're going to need some money in order to get that to work the way that I want it to. Because we're going to need to add on a large landing over here. So let's add that on there. And now those are bouncing back and forth, but what that's going to allow us to do is actually swap this out for one of these larger ships. So we'd have to get the Dinara Castle, because the Zoroaster is only for liquids. So let's get one of these. And I think that's going to look good in this bigger waterway, as opposed to some of the smaller waterways where we're using more like river boats. I mean, I know that these are all technically rivers, but I think you get what I'm going for. Okay, so that will run. And let's see, our trucks are coming out here. We could probably go with some more vehicles. Well, we'll just let that run for now. We'll see how that does. Okay, so that's getting set up. We've got 31 grain on there for now. This can carry up to 100. So that should fill out pretty well. So now, some other things that I wanted to get done today. I would love to start getting food delivered up here to Tenterden. And we kind of have two options with our existing infrastructure. We could get a train to bring back food on this fuel train. We could add on some wagons. Totally valid. And then just set up a little delivery into here, into Tetherton from this station. However, I think that we have a little bit better option. Let's see, this fuel train's just waiting for another delivery of fuel, which is coming in now. I think we have a more interesting option, and that's I'm going to put a food train to run all the way along our main line up to Tetherden. So we're going to need to add on a couple, a little bit more infrastructure for this to work correctly. And if we just go into our uses here, yeah, so our food and our construction materials are both back here. So let's go ahead and add in, let's see, this is not a main line, but to delete that out would cost us a lot of money, so I'm not going to go ahead and do that now. But what I am going to do is I'm going to add in a straight road here. And I think that that's pretty flat, so that should work. And then we're going to come in here and add in a cargo platform. We can keep it at 160 meters for now, because I don't think our train is going to be much longer than that. Let's go ahead and get that in there. And now we'll come in here, we'll add in a pass-through track, just so that we don't tie directly into the this existing track. And now we'll go with like a 40-mile-an-hour merge, and then we're going to tie that back in. Before I do that, I want to reconnect this road here. So why don't we bring this straight out to this track? Bring it a little bit further, and then we'll curve this dirt road over and connect that in. Just so that's connected. Okay, so that's going down to the oil well. Again, not super necessary in terms of gameplay. The game will function if those are completely disconnected. I just think that it is a bit more realistic to have them connected. Okay. And then we're going to tie in here with our main line. So the question is, where do we want to do that? And I'm thinking we'll do it right after this merge. So we'll come off here. Let's see, so if I come off there like that, it's going to have to climb up a little bit. It'll maintain 41-ish. And then this can be a double switch. And now we're going to have to rework these signals, because I really want them to just be... We'll have it here and here. And that's a little close to those, but I think that's okay. Okay, and then we'll want a one-way signal, or a non-one-way signal right there, so that that train can make its way up into here. Okay, so now that we have that established, and it doesn't have good catchment right now, potentially we could help that out if we connected this road up. Let's just go ahead and speed this up. And then I just realized I've had the date paused this whole time. Okay. So we'll get this connected up, and then we'll probably need a little truck route to deliver in here. Let's just see if we were to add this road in, what the catchment looks like. Yeah, it's still not good. So let's come into here and let's get a single, we'll do 10 meters and then maybe buffer it with a building. So if I kind of spin this around here, maybe 20 meters, just to make it look a little bit better. Yeah, I could add that in there. It's a little high. If I just kind of zoom in a little bit. Let's see, if I add that in there. And then can I fit a large? Okay, so I can't. So I have to move it out a little bit more. Because I would love to, and I wish I could move these. I don't know if you guys, you know, I assume people have played City Skylines, but there's a mod in that game called Move It. And it allows you to kind of move things around. Really useful. So why don't I put it in here? I'll back it up to this this facility, and then we'll add in the building right there. And then hopefully something can build here. I don't know, though. We'll have to see. Okay, so now that's set up, and now we can add a drop-off in here for the food. And why don't I have them drop, like, right about there? Yep, and they'll just kind of loop around, and we'll make this like a dark yellow color for the food. Actually, maybe an orange color. Okay, and now let's get a couple vehicles on there. So for the food, maybe we'll just put like 2 on there for now. And this is going to be our Tetherden food delivery. And those guys will just kind of queue up there and wait for the food to come in. But the food is not going to come in until we get this rail station set up. So let's come into here. Let's get a terminus. We'll go 240 meters, kind of plan for the future a little bit. Let's see, why don't I get this road in here first? So let's kind of branch this off at a right angle. Curve it over a little bit. And then come straight off there like that. I may have curved that a little bit too much, so let's curve it just gently like that. And then we'll come off here, yeah, like that. Okay. So now we'll come in here. We'll come in here with our platform, 240 meter rail station, and we'll add that in there. And now this is just going to come in here as a single track. So we can branch right off of there. And then, yeah, we'll come into here. So, let me see. So if I pull this a little bit further, and then maybe grab that and branch that into there. So it'll do 75 all the way through there, which is great. And then I will want a cross here. So let's add that in. I'll want a non-one-way signal here and here coming back. And then is there any purpose in kind of wants me to, I kind of want to just pull this straight into here instead and not even have this cross here. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's pull this out. And let's see if I were to grab this now and just pull that into there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's come through here and just kind of smooth this out. Get all the terrain fixed. Okay. So that's going to feed this into here. Now we do need one-way signals here. Coming back in. So that they don't get all freaked out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to double track portions of this track so that they, so that the, what are we calling this? The food train doesn't interfere with the passenger train. So let's kind of back that out a little bit. Let's merge this in. I would love to maintain... I guess it doesn't really matter how fast we're going, so let's do like a 50-mile-an-hour merge. And we'll add that in there. And now let's get some one-way signals. Like that. And like that. So now this line is going to have space to queue up here. I'm going to keep it single track through this pretty significant cut. And then we'll probably break back off to double track just after the cut. So let's branch back off. We're going to do, what did we say, 50 mile an hour branch off. And now we'll run a pretty significant portion of double track going all the way down this coastline because this is really easy terrain to work with. It would make sense that this would be double tracked a pretty significant way. And then this, I think, is going to be a pretty major block. We can do some double track coming around here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll add in some double track at this station. So let's hook these up. And then let's bring this down, and then we'll double track it right into this existing line. And let's see where that is. So that's here. And I think it's because there's a signal in the way. So let's just get rid of that. We'll have to remember to add that back in. So let's get that one-way signal added back in. And now let's connect up this track. So now we've got double track going into the station here. We will need a little cross. This is pretty tight in here, so let's go like 50 miles an hour on that cross. And now we've got some track here. And I think we're going to make this a block. So there will be only one train on this portion. And if we're going to do that, I need to back that out. Let's just pause it for a second because we just broke a line. So we'll cross this over. Let's see. Yeah. We'll have to cross that over there. And then we'll merge that in. Actually, there's no need for it to cross over. So let's just get rid of that. It'll merge in there. Would we have a 40 mile an hour? Let's just back this off. So what if I grab... No, because I don't want that to interfere with that. So we could do 39 miles an hour there. That's really going to slow our trains down quite a bit. So let's go 50. Maybe if I grab it from this end, we'll go 50 miles an hour. And now we will need some signals here. So let's do a one-way there and there. One-way is there. And then I can't tell if I need a signal here. I don't think I do. Because, like, if a train is wanting to leave here, it's going to have to check to see if there's anything on this block. In theory. let's pull that off at 75 miles an hour so it can make a merge at top speed. And now we're going to need some signals. So we want these to auto signal. Let's see if they did. They did. So that's going to run all the way down to here. So we'll send that back, and then I think I'll shift these ones just a little bit closer. Maybe back those out and then get a signal set in there. So now those are going to run back, and now our line is using this whole thing. Okay. Nice. So that should work. So now I can let this run again. And what this is going to mean now is we need to set up a new line. So this is going to go from Carshalton all the way up to Tetherden. Let's make it a maybe like a yellowish color. And at Carshalton, I want them to wait for full load forever before they head all the way up here. So this will be our Tetherden food rail line. And now we can come up here to this depot, and we should be able to get a train onto there. Okay, so now the question is, with that hill climb, I think we're going to want a BR-53. This is a pretty long line, and I don't think this only goes 25 miles an hour. I don't want it to clog up that main line. So let's get that going, and then we're going to need box cars for the food. And let's get maybe 10 of them. And now we'll add that onto the food line. And I think that that should work really well. So now if we come all the way down here to this facility, it should start to recognize, yep, Tetherden. Because that's in catchment. We're starting to get food on that platform. Perfect. Okay, but now if we're adding on, we're probably going to want another ship onto here. So let's get another ship. Just so that we can get tons of grain coming up here. And then we could probably get a couple more vehicles on there delivering grain into Carshalton. Okay, perfect. So that's going to work really well. And let's see, we just to make sure, yeah, we have our trucks up here that are waiting, they're queuing up. Just kind of smooth out some of this area in here. Okay, so that should work nicely. And here's our boxcar train is making its way down. Let's see, this is our passenger train. It's doing pretty good financially. There's a little bit of a drop-off these past, like, 2 years, but for the most part, it's running really well. Okay, so now another thing that I want to get delivered is tools into Norton over here. So to deliver the tools, we have a couple options. Or we had a couple options, but I kind of decided on one over another. So one option was this Skelton tools factory that uses planed timber. And to get the planed timber, we could do this Midhurst forest and this Midhurst sawmill. We could bring the timber down. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that is probably a better option. Because the way that I was going to do it is I was going to ship this coal and iron down here to this steel mill, bring the steel over here to this tools factory, and then ship the tools up here on this rail line. But I kind of like this option a little bit better. Yeah, so let's go with that. Kind of on the fly here, but I think it'll work. Okay, so we have a little road over here. Let's just see if we can get a road to sneak by there. Curve that in. And now we need to make our way over here. So I think we'll go past this tools factory. So we'll come up here. Make sure we don't get too crazy on the terrain. So we'll make our way up there. And then they'll come down here, which makes sense because it's a pretty big hill. Let's see how steep this is. It's pretty steep. Would we rather come around this way? Yeah, maybe. So let's have them turn here. And let's go into our terrain view so that we can make our way up this hill in a reasonable way. Come around here like that. Like that. Branch into that road. So they'll come up here, around here, and then why don't I put in a road, maybe right here, that they can use? And that will just branch directly into here. So we'll connect that up. And let's just kind of smooth that out a little bit. And then let's see, for them to get back down here, they'll run on this existing road. This existing road that's kind of doesn't look good. So let's connect that up. They'll run back on this existing road. So let's put the truck stop, right about here. And this will need 2 platforms. Let's see, maybe there. Put the exit in there, the entrance in there. Let's go ahead and connect this up. So we'll have a connection there. And then I wonder if I can get this to connect up nicely there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. And then up here at this facility, I'll probably add in, let's see, a cargo platform maybe here. So we'll kind of spin that around. Give them a little bit of space to queue, and then we will send them down here to drop off the wood. So let's use maybe like a purple color, because wood is purple, I guess. And this will be the Midhurst lumber. Yeah, Midhurst lumber. Okay. Let's get some vehicles on there. We'll use these flatbeds. So let's get maybe 14 of them to start, because we're probably going to need more. And now this should start to recognize, once we let this play, yep, Midhurst sawmill. And now we're going to ship this stuff down here. Maybe I'll have them run right down this road. So I'll just make another little connection here. Like that. And they can come up here to this facility. So now this is going to need 2 stops on it. I might just put it in like right there, and we'll add on a couple platforms just to give them some queuing space. And now these guys are going to come from there and come all the way up to here. Nope, that color conflicts, so let's use like a reddish color. Yep, so they'll come down here. They're using the correct stop. I'll have them wait forever for full loads of timber. And now this is going to be the Skelton timber. Oh. Skelton timber route. And now we're going to need some trucks in there. So we can move plain timber on these flatbeds. So let's get like 4 of them for now until they kind of space themselves out. And then let's come in here and let's double the number of vehicles that we have on the lumber route. So now there's 28 of them, because that's a decently long route, and then we'll have to get more onto here once that's getting produced. And now, if we're going to get tools, we want them on the main line, but we want them running in this direction, because they're going to go down to Norton. And I don't know if I can get a connection in here. Maybe? So if I grab that, like, right at the road... Yeah, so I can make that. That will work. But what it's going to mean is we should flip the fuel to the other side. So the fuel drop-off is going to occur now on the other platform. Speaking of fuel, it's coming in right now. So that should give us a little infusion of cash to be able to make this work. So we'll connect that in there. We'll flip the fuel to the other side. So then I can have these guys just drop off right at this facility. Yeah, I think that's going to work. At least it should work. I see no reason why it wouldn't. Now, while we wait for a little bit of cash, let's come up here and see how this is doing. Yeah, so we're getting a huge backup of food here. So we're going to need a few more vehicles up here to deliver food. So let's come in here and let's just double that number for now. Maybe triple it. We're going to need a lot of vehicles on there. And then down here at the grain delivery, let's get maybe 6 more to deliver grain. Because this is, yeah, that's getting overloaded with grain. Okay. So now if we come back here to Skelton, what we were doing, let's get this connected up. And then let's get this connected up. And then let's come down here to the Skelton fuel. And at Skelton, I want them to use platform 2 instead. Because I'm going to use this platform for my grain. So let's grab this again right before the road. And we'll kind of spin that around there. Let's see. Okay, so I'm afraid that that's too steep to make that a double switch. It probably is. But what I could do, I guess, is just grab it here and then allow them to use the switch up there. So let's do that. I'll grab that from there. And then they can switch their track up there. And we'll want a one-way signal there so that they can wait. And now that will allow them to hop on the main line and come all the way down here. Now down here, we'll probably want another rail line. So, let's see. We have 1 line for passengers currently. And if we come in here to our terrain, this is kind of our level spot right here. This is all incline down to here. So I'm just thinking of when we're going to have to double this up. I guess we could double it. This is pretty steep. We could have double track coming up here. I guess we could run the double track all the way to this bridge. The problem is I don't want them starting and stopping on this slope. I'd rather they kind of maintain their momentum. Which almost makes me think that we should just double this track up from the start. But okay, for now, let's come in here. So this is kind of our industrial area. So if I come over here and maybe we can add on a road. So let's add on like a road there. Connect that up. I'll delete this portion. Smooth that out a little bit. And now if we disconnect this road from there, and instead kind of bring it around here, bring a bit of straight road off of there, connect that in there, so that I can get my cargo station in right up here. So I could put that in like right there, right at the end of the road. I think that looks pretty nice. This is probably just going to be... Let's just put in the 240, just so that we can, again, plan for the future. And let's see the catchment there. It's catching most... No, it's catching... So there's tools down here, too. So we'll probably need a truck stop in here. So we'll just do one platform for now. And I'll tuck it in like right... Yeah, that's the platform side, so I'll tuck it in right there. And let's get a cargo building on there. Just to kind of buffer it a little bit. And now we need to tie this in with our main line here. Or this is more of a regional line. But either way. So if we kind of bring this around... I'm kind of envisioning that we'll run double track down here, but this side will be for passengers and this side will be for freight. So if I do that, I'll need to connect it in somehow. So let's see, if I run... a little bit of double track there. And then kind of branch this off while keeping it level. So that's 50 miles an hour. Let's see if we can get 75. We can. So that's going to be level there. Maybe if I bring it down just a little bit. Maybe to like there. And then if I connect that in, that'll go 75 all the way to here, and then it'll slow down to 66. And I'm okay with that. It's doing some weird things here with this road, so let me just go ahead and delete that for a minute. So now if I grab that there, connect that in. Okay, so that's flat out of there. And then if I connect this up here, that looks good. Okay, so now that's tied in. We've got our double track going. And again, one is going to be for freight and the other is going to be for cargo. So now if I run these back down here, I'm just wondering where to merge them up. I'm thinking I can merge them kind of on this slope here and then allow this to be a block. So let's see, if I come down here and I grab this track, so we'll double track that. I do want a non-one-way signal here. And I really want that to bounce over to this side. So I'm going to add a waypoint. Just coming back this way. So I'll add that there. And then I want to grab this. So after Carshalton, I want it to hit that waypoint. There we go. So now that's doing what I want it to do. And so, yeah, so now we have a one-way there. But yeah, if I'm going to double track it back here, I really want this to tie in up here. So let me get rid of those signals. And let me rethink this track here. So if I grab that and I have them go into there instead. Make that a double switch. And then if I get rid of this waypoint, are they still going to do what I want them to do? Yeah, they are. Okay, but now I do need a one-way signal in here. And why don't we get one-way signals coming in like this. Okay, yeah, so that's going to create a problem. So let's see, so that's going to come in there. All right, yeah, so I can fix this right now. So this is going to come further up this hill. And then maybe I'll have them merge in. Like right up here, like that. And then this will be a block. Let's see, if I grab this, and I pull this out so it's at 75 miles an hour. And then connect that in there. Yeah, so now that's going to do what I want. So let's get some one-way signals in here. That. And that sent an auto signal back to there by accident. However, it's actually in a pretty good spot. So why don't I turn off auto signal just so I don't mess this up, and we'll add those in there. Okay, nice. So now we just need to figure out our double track up here. Because this is still using this single track up here, and that's good, that's what I want. Because I want this to be exclusively for freight. And then similarly, we'll have a block up here, so let's bring this out to 75 miles an hour. We'll connect that in. And now I want non-one-way signals here and here. So that will just continue using this track all the way down there, and then this track will be exclusively for freight. So now we should be able to get a new line in here from Skelton all the way up here. And this is going to be for tools, so why don't we make it a... do we have a light blue on there? I don't think we do, so I think light blue will work. This is a block here, and then they'll branch off, and now they've got their own tracks going from then on. Okay. And I want this train to wait forever before it comes down here. And let's set this up. So this will be... Was this Norton? Something like that? Yeah, Norton. Tools. And now we need to set up the drop-off here for the tools. So let's get a probably a double platform in here, just kind of planning for the future. Let's see, if I put that in there, can I get a... Yeah, I can get another road access there. That's good. I don't know why that's good, but I mean, I think it'll work. Okay. And now we need a line to drop from the tools factory down here. So this will take it from there. Let's make it like a light blue. We definitely want a waypoint. I don't want the timber to use that as a pass-through. So I want them to stick out there. But this will just drop tools up here. And I want them to wait for a full load before they do. So let's go ahead and speed that up. And this will be our Skelton tools delivery. Okay, now we can let that run. We do need to get a couple vehicles on there to deliver the tools. So let's get like 4. That blue color, we'll get them on the Skelton tools. And now let's see how we're doing here. So now we need a ton more vehicles on here. So let's get like 12. And then we could honestly get more vehicles on the lumber. So let's get like 6 more on the lumber drop-off. And let's get like 4 more to deliver down to there. And now we're going to need a train to be able to drop the tools. And it can't come from there, unfortunately. So let me grab this. And I'm going to tie that in here. I will make that a double switch. But those are doing their thing, which is good. And we want a non-one-way signal here. And now let's go ahead and get the tools train on here. So, again, this is going to be running on the main line, so we're concerned with speed. So let's maybe get that going. Maybe I'll edit this. I'll get 2 more. So we'll go with 8 cars. And I'll get that on the tools line. And that, I think, is going to bring us to the end of the episode. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have and you made it this far, consider leaving a like or a comment. I do read all of the comments. They really make my day when I get a bunch of comments. It means people are, engaged and enjoying the content. But until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. Consider subscribing for more videos. I'm trying to get them out at a more regular pace than I have been in the past. So, yeah, hope you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye.